had a look at the new WRX and STI that's supposed to be coming out.
We have the 2022.
What do you think of the shape and design? Bearing in mind that nothing Subaru ever designs comes out like it is when it hits the market, but there are some features there that we think will carry through. We'll throw up a picture of the models that we're having a look at, the designs, and there's some shape I think that looks pretty good. Some nice clean lines. They haven't gone too extreme, other than the big front, which Matt, you're not a massive fan of.
Look, the way I phrased it is, it looks like the Kim Kardashian duck lips on a car. I suppose that the one thing is nice is that they've done that two-tone color, but some of the pictures, they're looking as if they're going towards almost an SUV kind of style in a sedan body, which seems like a double negative to me. If anyone wants that style, they're going to go with either a Forester, an Outback, an XV, rather than, I think with sedan, I don't know if they're trying to just sort of mold their markets together, but to me it seems like a risk that you might cannibalize your sales and have everyone going for one model. Maybe that's the point. Maybe they are in the long term trying to phase out a model, but to me the WRX is the poster child of their entire company. So you'd want to make sure that is the standout model and everything else supports it, rather than it just sort of becoming one of a fleet. Again, I'm not going to tell Subaru how to do their job, but
yes, right.
Yeah.
So, what I take, it looks very much like the Forester's current shape, or particularly the new one that's come out in the US and Canada at the moment. It may be something to do with economies of scale, obviously being a smaller scale manufacturer of vehicles. I know they've moved towards one platform across everything. It's a niche market. It doesn't even sell in Europe anymore because of the pollution levels that it puts out. So the US and Australia and I think Canada are probably some of the remaining markets that they can sell this in. I get why they're trying to, I guess, make it appeal to a broad market. But as I kind of said to Matt earlier, I think this is such a niche area of performance vehicles now that they can probably get away with going back to their grassroots and just making an exciting looking car that they know only a small amount of the population is going to purchase, but it becomes that halo or poster child that gets people in the doors. And when a family comes, or when a dad or a mum comes back to purchase another Subaru to suit a family as opposed to what they had as younger, that's when you transition them to the Foresters or the Outbacks and things later on. So I think they need to start focusing more on, because they're only selling a performance car, is focus on that performance market and get back to some of their older roots. So everyone's crying out for a hatchback. Obviously there's the Lavore, but it's quite a different beast for anyone that's driven one. I know I had one for about a week when my Rexy was getting fixed up at the time. And it's very boat-like once you come out of something a little bit more performance-oriented. I know it's supposed to be the performance wagon, but it's quite heavy. There's a lot of additional weight with the same drivetrain and engine as the WRX, and you kind of lose that power immediately. So I literally lived in sports sharp mode the whole time just to get as much power as I could out of it. But I think that hatchback, that's popular in every other make. Maybe it's a time to bring it back, Subaru. And yeah, just focus on the group that you're actually going to be selling it to. And I think the biggest talking point, the end of the EJ, it will no longer be sold in a production vehicle when the new STI comes out. They're moving, I believe, to a 2-litre, potentially electric motors at the wheels in future variants and things to pump up the power out of the smaller capacity engine. But I mean, you've got to do something special if you're going to replace such an iconic engine with an iconic sound that the EJ with the unequal length headers was producing. You've really got to bring your A game, and I think style-wise, that's going to be a big play. If it doesn't look great from a styling perspective, it's going to be very hard to get people to upgrade from their EJ vehicle or come across to it. Particularly as other car makers are starting to put out some interesting things. The Supra is not as unaffordable as everybody was anticipating it to be. The Golf Rs, the AMG 45s, these cars are putting out some serious power, and they're definitely in the affordable range. Like if you're looking at a top spec STI now, you're paying about 70k to get it out the door. So once you're there, that's other European performance territory that you're sitting at. You've really got to have something to sell there, and that's where that EJ did have that before.
You need to offset it with its noise, essentially, if that's what you want to break it down to. If all you're interested in is that noise, then yeah, you're going to have to sit back with the EJ, I suppose. And if you pick up a brand new 2022 WRX, you're going to be doing a complete engine swap back to a 15-year-old engine. But I suppose if that's what you want.
Yeah, I wonder what the aftermarket's going to do, because I know, I can't think of the brand off the top of my head, but somebody's already doing unequal length headers for the FA engine. Not cheap at the moment. I think they're about $1,500 a pair, which is not too bad, but if you're desperate for the sound, it's affordable, I guess. So hopefully more of that comes out in the future. The longer these engines are out, people are going to try and replicate that old sound. Just hoping it's not a sound box, as you were thinking of.
Only time's going to tell how compatible Subaru is going to continue to make their engines, and if there's going to be a massive shift towards people buying them in the used market, going back to earlier models, which again is going to have an impact on the last topic, on how expensive they're going to become, because not only are they older cars and people getting interested simply because of the cars they are, but again, because they are mechanically more fun to work on and more parts to play around with.
Yeah, it's a circle that's just going to keep going around and around. As the market becomes smaller and smaller, and they're going to become more expensive. So, flipping back to where we were, 10 minutes ago, get in there now. Look for your vehicle while it's affordable. I'll sell you my buggo when it's worth 100k.
That pretty much wraps things up for today. Let us know what you think of this format. We thought of having a bit of a bit more conversational approach to these videos.
A few news topics.
Yeah, just to mix things up.
Current affairs. Something else from Tracy.
Especially now, look, as we said, it is getting harder and harder for us to even look at the things we can change and modify on the car because of how scarce things are and how long it's taking to get things done. So it gives us a good opportunity to sit down and have a chat with you. So let us know what you think. If there's any topics you want us to have a look over, in the Subaru community, hit us up in the comments. Let us know. We're always happy to throw our hat in the ring.
Yeah, and head to the Facebook page just here.
It might not be there. I'll try and edit it in.
Somewhere here. One of these fingers. Anyway, join up. Put your questions in there. We'd love to see some pictures of your rides as well. It's a bit more difficult on YouTube comments to do that, so get them on there and we'll show them to the audience. We would love to hear some feedback on how you think the videos are going so far as well. Till next time, Flat Fours.
Peace out. You go.